Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're jumping straight into the high-octane world of Formula One today.
That's right.
We're going to unpack the key discussions, the decisions, really, coming out of the latest F1 Commission meeting.
Yeah, there's quite a bit to cover.
Our sources are the reports from F1 blogs, and basically our mission here is to give you a clear, concise understanding of the rule tweaks, for this season, for 2025, and looking ahead to 2026 as well. Really trying to get a handle on where F1 is heading.
Exactly. It's about seeing the direction of travel. So let's dive in.
Okay.
This F1 Commission meeting, it did deliver some notable adjustments, things for now and things for later.
Right.
Let's maybe kick things off with 2025. There were several modifications and also some agreements to look into things further.
Okay, yeah, let's start there. First up, Monaco. Always unique, isn't it?
Always.
And it seems it's getting, a significant strategic injection. A new rule mandating 2 pit stops during the Grand Prix.
Yeah, that one raised a few eyebrows.
What's the thinking there? It feels like a big shift for Monaco, where track position is usually everything and strategy is, often pretty limited.
Well, what's fascinating, I think, is the clear push to add more unpredictability.
Ah, okay.
Monaco, with its tight layout, it often leads to races that are, let's be honest, a bit processional sometimes. Limited overtaking, fairly straightforward one-stop strategies.
Yes, sir.
So this mandatory 2-stop rule, it basically forces teams away from that. They have to explore different strategic options.
So could we see more gambling on softer tires, maybe?
Potentially, yeah. It could incentivize that, create more varied scenarios on track, but it does raise a question, doesn't it?
Which is
Does it start to feel a bit artificial? If the strategies become too prescribed, dictated by the rule rather than just happening organically.
That's a really good point. That balance between, manufactured excitement and just letting the race unfold naturally.
Exactly.
Okay, moving on. Looks like there's going to be a deeper dive and investigation into those grass fires we saw at Suzuka.
Ah, yes, the Japanese GP.
That was certainly quite a sight.
Yeah.
And obviously a worry.
Absolutely. And the fact they've agreed to investigate further just underlines how seriously the FIA takes safety. Always number one. I mean, even if it looked visually dramatic, any fire near the track is a potential hazard, a serious one.
So what will they look at?
Well, the investigation will likely focus on pinpointing the cause. Was it, something from the cars, track infrastructure, something else entirely?
Right.
And then, crucially, what preventative steps can be put in place. For Suzuka, sure, but maybe lessons for other circuits, too.
Yeah, ensuring the safest possible environment. Good.
It also makes you think about the materials used around circuits, doesn't it? Their fire resistance, given the extremes of F1.
Definitely vital stuff. Now, there's also a tweak to PARC FERMÉ rules.
Ah, yes.
For anyone maybe not deep in the F1 jargon, PARC FERMÉ is basically the lockdown conditions for the cars after quali, before the race. This update is about cooling vests. It clarifies things if a driver doesn't use one. Sounds very specific.
It is. It's quite a focused adjustment. But it probably aims to close a specific loophole or maybe just clear up some ambiguity in the existing rules.
Okay.
By clarifying the procedure for drivers who opt out of the cooling vests, the FIA is just making sure the rules are applied consistently. No room for anyone to gain an unintended advantage, even in a small area like that.
It's all about dotting the I's and crossing the T's.
Pretty much. Maintaining that level playing field.
Right, ensuring no stones unturned. Okay, another interesting one. A regulation mechanism to deal with cargo delays.
Oh, yeah, the logistics side.
Specifically at back-to-back non-European events.
Yeah.
The F1 blogs report mentions the recent Chinese GP as an example. Sounds like the global nature of F1 can throw a spanner in the works sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. This is actually a really practical, important addition, especially now the calendar is so global, so compressed. When you've got races on different continents, week after week, the logistical challenges are immense. Unexpected cargo delays can seriously mess up a team's prep.
So what does this new mechanism do?
It's designed to provide a clear framework. What happens if things go wrong? It might involve, say, allowances for curfew rules, or maybe even tweaking the weekend schedule if teams can genuinely show they've been significantly hit by delays outside their control.
And mentioning China suggests this isn't just theoretical.
Exactly. It seems it had a real impact recently. It highlights just how complex the whole behind-the-scenes operation is.
For sure. Okay, lastly on the 2025 stuff, an amendment to the financial regulations.
The money side.
This relates to capital expenditure for new entrants. and it specifically mentions the Cadillac Formula One team joining in 2026.
Yeah, this definitely looks like laying the groundwork for their arrival.
Seems like it.
The financial regs in F1, they're incredibly complex, aren't they? All aimed at long-term stability for the sport. Any new team, like Cadillac, faces huge upfront costs. Capital expenditure, basically setting up the whole operation.
So this amendment clarifies that.
It likely clarifies how those initial big investments are treated under the cost cap and the broader financial rules. It's about giving new entrants a predictable financial path.
While still keeping things fair for existing teams.
Exactly. Safeguarding the sport's overall financial integrity. It could affect how much they can invest early on, how that's balanced against what established teams spend. It's tricky.
So quite a lot happening on the 2025 front then.
Definitely some significant adjustments.
But as often happens, the longer-term view tends to dominate these talks, right? And in this case, it's the 2026 power unit regulations that were a key focus.
Indeed. The 2026 power units were a central discussion point. The basic architecture, the new hybrid setup, that's already defined.
We know that bit.
But the ongoing conversations now are more about the finer details. And importantly, the potential challenges manufacturers might face.
Okay, and just so we're absolutely clear for everyone listening, the FIA has hammered home the point again. V10s are not coming back.
Not happening. No nostalgic return for those engines, unfortunately, for some fans.
So anyone hoping for that V10 scream again?
They'll be disappointed. The future is firmly hybrid. It's about sustainability, innovation, pushing tech boundaries.
Right. Now, the F1 Blog's report highlighted a specific worry that came up in the meeting.
Which was?
Potential financial difficulties. Specifically for power unit manufacturers who might really struggle with low performance or poor reliability come 2026.
Oh, yeah, that's a really interesting angle. It's a recognition of the reality.
That was so.
Well, think about the massive investment needed. R&D, production for these incredibly complex, cutting-edge power units. It's enormous.
Billions, probably.
Easily. Now, imagine a manufacturer gets it wrong. Persistent problems with speed, or the engine keeps breaking down.
Nightmare scenario.
It doesn't just hurt their partner teams on track, it can put a massive strain on their own finances, too.
So the Commission is thinking about that already.
It suggests they are, yeah. Proactively considering ways to maybe support or address that kind of situation. Could it involve tweaking the regs for parity? Or maybe finding ways to mitigate the financial risks for the manufacturers.
To keep them involved long-term.
Exactly. To maintain a healthy, competitive group of power unit suppliers in F1. It really raises that big question. How do you balance pushing technology forward with keeping things financially sustainable for everyone involved?
It's a tightrope walk. But it sounds like beyond this talk about financial risks for the PU makers, the F1 Blog's report didn't give away many new technical details for 2026.
That's right. No further changes to the technical side of the 2026 PU regs were mentioned at this stage.
Okay.
The info that came out suggests the main focus regarding 2026 PUs in this meeting was really those financial considerations. The nitty-gritty tech stuff seems we're still waiting for more on that.
Right. So the 2026 technical picture is still developing, but the money side is clearly a major concern right now.
Seems that way.
Now, before we wrap this up, it's really important to remember something, isn't it?
What's that?
All these changes we've talked about, 2025 stuff, the 2026 discussions, they're still technically provisional.
Ah, yes. Crucial point.
They all need final sign-off from the FIA's World Motorsport Council, the WMSE. Nothing's officially law just yet.
Absolutely vital to underscore that. The F1 Commission proposes, debates, refines, but the WMSC holds the final stamp of approval.
It's a process.
A multi-layered one, yeah. Designed to make sure changes are properly considered before becoming part of the rulebook.
And it's also worth saying, these talks are ongoing. The F1 Blogs report mentioned these topics will come up again in future meetings.
Oh, for sure. The F1 rulebook is never static, is it?
No. Seems like it's always evolving.
It's in this constant state of refinement, always looking for ways to improve racing, boost safety, push sustainability. These regular commission meetings are just part of that continuous cycle.
Okay, so let's quickly recap the key takeaways then from this deep dive into the F1 Commission meeting via F1 Blogs.
Go for it.
We've got the mandatory two-stop rule for Monaco in 2025, the investigation into the Suzuka grass fires, that PARC FERMÉ clarification about cooling vests, the new system for handling cargo delays at flyaway races, and the financial regs amendment linked to Cadillac's 2026 entry.
Got it. And on top of that,
the big discussion around the 2026 power units, but focusing mainly on the potential financial risks for the manufacturers this time.
Exactly. So tweaks for 2025 aiming to fine-tune the current setup, while the 2026 PU talks show just how complex shaping F1's future is, both technologically and financially.
Right. And that kind of brings us to a final thought for you, the listener.
Mm-mm.
Think about that tension, that balancing act in Formula One. On one hand, you've got the push to create exciting, unpredictable racing using regulations like this new Monaco pit stop rule.
Trying to spice things up.
Yeah. But on the other hand, you have these huge technological and financial challenges, especially with these new power units coming, that the teams and the manufacturers are grappling with.
It's a massive undertaking.
So the question is, what kind of long-term impact might these constantly evolving rules have on the actual racing, the competition, and maybe how easy or hard it is for new teams like Cadillac to come in and actually succeed?
Yeah. How does it all shake out in the end?
Definitely some food for thought as we watch the future of the sport unfold. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.